April showers bring May showers. So this week's it's been pretty much raining all week long. There hasn't really been any garden work going on. Fortunately, it's supposed to quit after tomorrow. So there's lots of things we'll be doing during the week, because next weekend we won't be getting anything done no matter what the weather, because, well, we'll be gone. So I was at least yesterday able to pull the weeds out of the strawberries. That's pretty good. And the second planting of wheat has been coming up very good, and it should go really well after all that moisture, and then combine that with some nice warm weather for the next week or more, as far as the forecast is concerned. So today, with it still being pretty soggy, I'm gonna get a few odds and ends taken care of. I've got the kids' garden boxes I need to build. What else is there? Once the kids' garden boxes are made, I need to move the fencing around them. If I have time, I think I'll go ahead and take care of the raspberry situation here, taking the lines, which are all the way across this way, and moving them to north to south rather than what they're doing. They're going east to west right now. There's all kinds of things to do, and only a few hours in the day to do them. So I think we'll get started. Truth be told, I'm not really a fan of raised bed gardening. It actually creates a lot more work than it saves. As the summer goes on, you're gonna see that in action when I start using the wheel hoe to clear out weeds. That just takes me 15 minutes to go through that garden, if that long, to get those weeds out of there. In this circumstance, though, I think the kids are gonna have a little bit easier time. They can't use the wheel hoe because it's just too big for them right now. And so having the bed right there with some lighter soil in it to help facilitate any weed pulling they need to do, and it kind of keeps everything down to a smaller scale to keep them motivated, because when the garden gets out of hand, when my garden gets out of hand, it's discouraging enough, but I keep at it because I've been doing this long enough that I just don't care. But if the kids get too discouraged, then obviously they're just not going to do it anymore. The other thing I'm not a fan of is putting some sort of landscape fabric underneath the garden box. I don't think that helps, especially depending on what kind of plants you're planting. My son wants to plant corn. Corn is going to go a lot deeper than the 18 inches that this takes up right here. And if it runs into that landscape fabric and can't grow through it, that's going to affect how well his corn turns out. So once I have these built, I'm actually gonna cut the grass out of that section. Someday they'll decide they don't want to garden in a box anymore, and I'll turn that into a flat garden area, just like I've got over there. But for now, we're gonna get these built. All right, garden boxes are in. Now we just have to go order some soil for them. All right, back at it for the afternoon. I've got, well, I already mentioned what I've got to do, but one of the things that I haven't done and that I haven't showed you guys was the cleaning out of the chicken coop. All right, so we'll get in here and we'll show you what's going on. This is about as bad as I've ever let it get, and I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of chicken litter in here. I generally don't let it go so far, but for whatever reason, I just haven't done it. So anyway, got to get some eggs out of. Oh, that was a soft shell. That was a broken shell. Yuck. That's gross. Well, that's what it is. That's disgusting. Okay. We'll get those eggs inside.
Nothing.
This one thinks he's gonna shoot his bow instead of helping.
Nope. Well, maybe.
Actually, it's hard for other people to help, and you'll see why in just a second. Ah, ants. Well, that's a new twist. Good thing I have some of this action. I don't actually like using diatomaceous earth, only because the chicken coop gets really dusty, and this, in the past, when I've used it, has made it really, really dusty. But, you know, if there's bugs rolling around in there, then, you know, we got to do something about it. So the reason folks can't help me too much with it is when you're messing around inside a chicken coop like that, it's best to have some sort of breathing protection. This is a little overboard, but it's what I got, so I'm going to use a respirator. And just when I want to clean out the box, somebody insists that they need to lay an egg. Seriously. Well, the chickens need more scratch, so that's what we're going to do now.
I may come out later to shoot with you.
Sure.
This evening when...
If I get all this done. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's all cleaned out. Like I said, it was about as bad as I've ever let it get, but, you know, got no excuse. It is what it is. So it's not a huge deal that I didn't get it cleaned out. The fact that the chickens free range out in our yard really helps to keep them healthier in the long run. If their nesting area, even if the coop gets a little dirty, because they're not spending half their time in the coop anyway. Would be a bigger deal if I kept them in a run, and then I would really need to keep the chicken coop cleaned out. We can't do that here. One of the themes of this channel is, you know, stuff that saves time, and keeping the chickens in a run, that doesn't save time. By the way, this cart is really cool. I decided to splurge on it, and I'm not regretting it at all. I'm excited to use this. Okay, so fresh bedding, everything smells nice in here again. So anyway, I don't know if I showed you this. This is, I made this when I first did the chicken coop. It's their roosting spot. And I built it to come out so I could get in here when I needed to clean the thing out. Anyway. Alright, so that's the chicken coop. It's a little tight in there, so maybe when I have a wide angle camera I'll be able to show that a little better. I think it's time to get a fence post moved, and that's going to require a child to help me keep the chickens out of the blueberries. Alright, Lucy, you ready to keep the chickens out? No? One of the things that I've always had problems with is all the weeds that grow up between the boxes. I know there's a ton of ways to deal with that, and it just requires a lot of time. Killing the grass doesn't require much time. It just doesn't. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully allow the kids to get in there a lot more easy. A lot more easy. I am apparently done for the day.